checking in your ear radio, that is. You know how we do around this time. This is Veez Take, brought to you by In Your Ear Radio. And this segment is called Concerned Citizens Live. And it's exclusively for our citizens here in Highland Park, Michigan, 313 to 48203. All right, so if you're familiar, or if you're not, you could do your Google research on where we at and what we're about, our history and everything, like so many other people are doing these days, and for various reasons. So Veez Take is just my perspectives and my opinions, and just provides a different options, maybe again, different perspectives for other people to think about as well. You know, I don't know if what I be thinking or theorizing on is true, and some cases I absolutely do know, and I like to distinguish when I'm speaking on something factually and opinionated. There's a healthy balance and everything. Most of the stuff that I'm highly opinionated on, I got a lot of facts as well to go with it. So I usually don't base my opinions off how I feel. I balance out statistics, analytics, and things of that nature after going down the different rabbit holes, and then I weigh it out. Not a lot of personal feeling, emotional judgment goes into the stuff that we tap into. So that's my kind of official disclaimer for Veez Take, and especially for our Concerned Citizens Live edition. This right here isn't an actual open to the public live chat version. This is just me giving you a little sample of what we're going to be doing, because we've had some issues with our previous Facebook group for Concerned Citizens, and these are just kind of counter actions, so to speak. You know, because I felt like as minimal as people try to play some of these groups, and how relevant they are, how important they are, you know, I believe this particular group was very productive, but it got a lot of flack for being accused. People would get accused for being negative, or you know, like always looking for some reason to complain or whatever, when the actual group was designed for that in specific, for people to be able to have a place where they could voice their concerns and whatnot, and have an open dialogue with actual administration. And that's the crucial part, because they will claim that they don't know. Your complaints that you might call into the city might get lost in the shuffle of the madness, and then they will act like they never knew. But this way, they could check in to the group, look at some of the comments, respond appropriately, and it actually, Concerned Citizens was one of the few groups that I witnessed that actually did put some heat under officials' asses and get them to do things, you know, and whatever it takes is how we citizens feel. You know, you hate to get to the point where you gotta be looking like you're complaining or ranting about stuff, but hey, after you get so frustrated after so many years, that's just the tone of frustration. That's what it sounds like. It's no different than when you're, you know, talking to your kids or something, you know, your little ones, and they're just not getting it. And then you know, you start off real sweet and supportive, and you know, trying to, you know, get them to understand. But at the end of the day, as a parent, you can't just leave them sitting there looking delusional and living in a fantasy bubble, because sometimes children will do that, and you have to tune them up, and then your tone changes as you get a little bit more, frustrated or whatever, and then you have to adjust, because you don't want to sound angry, but you have to be assertive, and they need to know they need to do something. And this is just our way of letting these officials and these administrators know, hey, you need to do something, because we're not trying to go all crazy, recall you and do all of that. That takes a lot of, now that's negative energy, and that takes a lot of time away from progress. So with that being said, I want to welcome any new listeners to Veez Take here on In Your Ear Radio. Concerned Citizens Live edition. This is what this is going to be about. I'd like your feedback on how we can make it better, how we can go about this, because this isn't something for me. It is definitely something that I want to do for us, concerned citizens. We need to be able to express ourselves, also communicate with each other and share these tidbits of information, because like I try to make it a big point of letting people know, especially the officials and the administration, because some of them just seem like they don't understand that the 20, 25 people that might be in a internet social media group active don't really give you a real pulse of what's going on in the city. You really don't understand, and especially in Highland Park, Michigan. I don't know about Highland Park, Illinois, or Highland Park, Texas, where, I think there's even a Highland Park in California, but I know the Highland Park in Michigan, the 48203, yeah, it's different for real. And so many people that have come here, outsiders that have tried to conquer, have failed miserably because of that. And as dysfunctional as we may seem sometimes, we are united in the fact of we don't want no bullshit. And it's slowly, for sure, but getting to the point where people notice now. And all that mind trick shit, the overlay for the underlay, all that manipulation tactics and stuff, and fear mongering, all that is starting to get peeped now. And then now I just want everybody to really dig a little deeper, when it comes to that research part. A lot of us tend to say, man, I don't give a fuck about all that shit, man. Really, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about it. Well, then why you talk about it? You should have said that from the get-go. But don't get halfway in the conversation and realize you don't know what you're talking about, and then don't want to talk about it no more. So that's not cool. That's not cool. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. There's something wrong with not wanting to know. Pew! Pop that one in your chamber. So look, we have some major issues in Highland Park, and there are some of the same issues that have been going on for over 100 years, literally. Now, I want you to tune in, because I'm going to be doing a segment specifically on tracing the history of Highland Park, and I want to break down for y'all in my own way of how the history has been repeating itself over and over for over 100 years. And right now, the situation we are in with outsiders trying to come in and dissolve us into Detroit, take away Highland Park. We won't be our own city anymore. That's the ultimate goal, is to get us absorbed into Detroit. It's been the goal for over 100 years. It's documented. And my family don't tell no lies, especially to my family. Well, these historical facts have been shared for over decades and decades and decades and passed down through neighbors, elders, and of all kinds. So miss me with the I don't know what I'm talking about part. Um, I might be off here or there, but the principles are definitely the same, and the tactics are being used. So the manipulation of the people is something that they've been doing for the longest. They try to get the people that live here to turn against the city in a way where they're saying, "Hey, y'all can't handle this no more. We might as well go ahead and get absorbed into Detroit because at least we'll get this, and at least we'll get that." And that's what they be selling them. Hey, look, if you really want better quality of living, go on and let us handle it. And it's really not the way they trying to present it. We've had some issues with that being visible now. You can see like tangible examples of this type of backdoor behavior from outside developments. It's happening right now in front of our eyes. It's materializing. So now how much further that goes, how much further that's already gone, that's for us to find out. I know of a lot of things, quite a few things that's going on that a lot of people don't know about in the city. Just regular working, living citizens who ain't on Facebook and not up on. Because if you don't go on the website, at least the city website has some information, but everybody don't even go there. They're not going to send any information to the house is what I'm getting at. And there's a lot of people just at the house because they're too busy living. They don't go on the internet. They're not looking on the website. They're not doing this. They're not even prompted to do that, really, because the city isn't sending out communication to every citizen in the form of to their home. That is something that the city has to take serious. But I don't feel like they really want to, because it's not like it can't be done. I've ranted about this for God knows how long, and many people are getting irritated by it, and even to the point where we came up with the solutions about sliding the monthly newsletter in with your water bill, which you will always be sending out. You don't never miss a water bill going out for sure. You always got money for the water bill to go out, right? So just slide it up in there, something with some bullet points. Tell you why we need to come to a council meeting. Tell you about these plans to do this. Tell when some planning commission going to meet about these strip clubs and shit that they want to put up. Oh yeah, they wouldn't tell you about that. No, because they don't really want you to show up, because then that's the way they slide stuff through. Because if nobody comes to the meeting, guess what? They just slide shit through. It's fact. That's fact. But if even one citizen shows up, let alone 5 or 10, they're going to feel some sort of obligation to do the right thing. They don't want to get caught up like that. But if it's not a strong force, they will go ahead and do it right in front of that 1 or 2 people if they don't really know what they're looking at. And a lot of times you won't, because they won't clearly explain it. They'll just be up there talking in code, And so anyway, they like to change these meetings, dates, times, things of that nature, just so you could not miss the meeting. They're like, oh dang, everybody's up on this real important meeting we're gonna have it. So at the last minute they're gonna change the date to, and then you won't know. It literally happens a lot, and then they're rescheduled, and then you don't know when the rescheduling is, and it gets all confusing, and then either nobody shows up or very few people show up. So, we want you to be very diligent in how you react to this information. But first off, you have to get the information, and that's what me, myself, and a few others are really trying to beat over their heads. Like, you have to do this. Like there's too many things being voted on, passed over, and you know what I mean. Just the citizen don't know about, and they'll give us an opportunity at least to speak up on it at council meetings and stuff like that. And you might not get an answer to your question, but they'll hear you talking. So that's the importance of that. Because once you show up and you show them that you're aware of what's going on, they will vote differently. But if there's no blowback and there's no reason for them not to, and they think you're dumb, trust me, they sliding stuff by. Stuff that they want slid by, they won't say much about the details. And it takes one person or two people on, say, a city council or something to have a question about a proposal before we'll get any type of information about it. If they didn't ask any questions, it was just going to go on through, and you wouldn't even know what it meant, because the headline very rarely tells you what's in the story. And it's the same way with these proposals. The name of the proposal won't always entail with a lot of the contextual part of the details. Like for real, like we just had a whole city block get taken over because of that. A business asked for an area for a parking lot, which made sense, and it got approved. And then come to find out, there was a bunch of adjoining properties and lots that had previously been bought for a community garden. So when the business banquet hall or whatever got approved for their parking lot, it turned out to be a very beautiful parking lot. I swear, the building and everything they renovated it is phenomenal. But they did some backdoor wild stuff, because who knew that they were in cahoots with whoever had previously bought those lots in the middle of the block. We're talking about almost the majority of a city block on one side, and they took over. And all of a sudden now, what was supposed to be used for the community gardens are part of that parking lot, that same parking lot extended. Like, and it's graveled out and just fenced all in with the big, like probably 6-foot fence and barbed wire, big ass commercial looking gates and stuff. Like it don't look like nobody's community garden for sure. I mean, if they was gonna do some type of growing there, that would be like a farm or something. That ain't no community garden. I don't know. I don't see it. It don't look like it. It's got gravel, and it looks much like the same little parking lot they put right behind the facility. So I'm not here to hate on the facility or the banquet hall or whatever, but taking over a whole city block, it's crazy work, son. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. Like, just to do a back door like that is just faulty, and we can't be having that. So this is why I want to talk about it on Concerned Citizens Live. So in future episodes, we'll have the chat open, and we'll be in here chopping it up with whoever wants to come in. And we just have dialogue. I don't know if I had the answers, but we could talk about it. You know what I mean? And that's the best part about it, for real, because once we get to talking, y'all know how HP is. And, good, bad, or ugly, that word is going to get passed around. And yes, it might get mixed up here and there, but it's going to get everybody's attention. And before you know it, everybody will get the actual story. So yeah, it might be dysfunctional as everything else is, but I'm just saying it's different. And the more we stay in touch with each other and do share the information that comes across each of our desks, tables, doorways, phones, whatever it is. Share it with your friend and let that friend share it with a friend, and that's the HP way. That's why we don't need no internet to stay in touch. We never have. And one other thing I would like for anybody watching that may have it twisted. You probably heard it before, I'm sure. But let me reiterate it for those who may not know. No. There's a culture in Highland Park with real Parkers that's always been in our bloodlines. And that is the loyalty to our fellow Parkers. To the extent, case in point, example rather. We go down to Hart Plaza. Everybody's going down to Hart Plaza. We get down there now. Down to Hart Plaza, there's people from all over. Now, me and you, we might be beefing in the pillar in HP. We might not like each other. We don't fuck with each other. Whatever it is, whatever level of that's at, it all goes away when we see each other outside of Highland Park and some shit goes down. If some shit goes down, every Parker in the vicinity will be on your head. We don't care about our internal beefs when we're outside. So dealing with outsiders. So keep that in mind. When you come in here, this is for the outsiders. When you come in here and you're trying to do these dark backdoor developments, when real Parkers catch wind of it, you're going to catch hell. And this is why you haven't been able to succeed. Period. Because we will find a way. And no matter what our differences are with each other, just like when we down at Hart Plaza, we'll see each other back in the pillar and we'll deal with each other then. But for right now, you my brother, I'm going to hold you down and we're going to beat that ass. Built to ass. Okay? That's the Parker way. And that loyalty goes a long way right here. So that's how we look at our city. And if I haven't talked to 100 or 500 or 1,000 of my Parker family in years, as soon as we activate, we were there. And it's time for us to activate. So maybe a show like this in the midst of all this madness might help. I don't know. Again, I'll be the first to admit I don't know a whole lot. I could think whatever. I could have my theories. I could be pretty confident. But I humble myself in not knowing what's going to happen, whatever that's not in my control. And I understand that. It's not. And all I'm saying is I want other people to understand that too and to humble their selves. When they get to talking so definitively, like they know something and know how it's going to go, I need you to think about the fact that you're not in control. Nor is your money, nor is your so-called influence or whatever. The universe just don't work like that. And as soon as you realize this universal light that's beaming down, that's beaming on us, that you can't run from this booth light, you're going to clean up your act. And hopefully it won't be too late before you feel the wrath of your own actions backlash on you. Now, you're not going to get struck by lightning. You're going to strike yourself. Keep that in mind. You are your worst enemy. And on that note, time's up. It's been another episode of Veez Take. I want to thank you for tuning in. You don't have to hit no subscribe button. You don't have to hit a notify button. Just stay tuned. I'm in your ear all the time.